Good morning, students. Okay, first of all, those who have not submitted the files, I am calling out their names. Okay, there are 30 marks for it. So better come and submit the projects or the files of all the subjects. Physics I am announcing. Arnav Singh Hada, not submitted. Divyan Sharma, Kevin, not submitted. Mannat Singh, Mitul Jain, Pragya Upadhyay, Priyansh Vijayvargi, Shivan Dwedi, Shruti Unyal, Sneha Chadda, Sujal Sukheja. Okay, so these are the students, those who have not submitted, better submit it in 2 or 3 days so that marks can be given, otherwise you will be given 0 out of 30. Okay, so these marks are very, very important for passing. So better you come and give your, submit your project. Okay, now let's continue. So we were discussing about the oscillations, oscillatory motion and the periodic motion. Okay, and the examples of SHL we have done. The examples of simple pendulum oscillations or simple harmonic, as well the oscillations of a loaded spring, they are also simple harmonic. Okay, now the next topic is damped and undamped oscillations. Okay, undamped oscillations are those in which amplitude remains constant. Okay, this is the displacement with time. We have plotted the graph of displacement with time. This maximum displacement we call it as amplitude. So this amplitude remains constant with time. Such oscillations are called as undamped oscillations. These type of oscillations in which the amplitude remains constant with time are called as undamped oscillations. So write down, draw this figure and write down. Write down the oscillations in which amplitude remains constant. In which amplitude remains constant. Write down, in this case, the dissipating forces, that is the opposing forces. In this case, the dissipating forces are 0. The opposing forces are 0. Okay, like for example, in case of a simple pendulum, when you oscillate it in air, you see that after some time the oscillations die out, the oscillations get damped. Okay, but why? Because some opposing forces are acting. What are the opposing forces? It may be the friction from where it is suspended, or it may be the air resistance which is opposing this pendulum. So if all these opposing forces are reduced to 0, that is, the pendulum is oscillated in vacuum. So there won't be any air resistance. So most of the dissipate forces reduce to 0. So in that case, the oscillations are undamped. So the example is, write down motion or the oscillations of a simple pendulum. Oscillations of a simple pendulum in vacuum. Oscillations of a simple pendulum in vacuum. Okay, now comes damped oscillations. Okay, damped oscillations are those in which the amplitude continuously decreases with time and finally the oscillations die out. So write down, in which the amplitude decreases with time, and finally the oscillations die out, because of the dissipating forces. Dissipating is opposing forces. Because of the dissipating forces, like what are the dissipating forces? Like frictional force, viscous force. These are the opposing forces, like frictional force, viscous force, etc. Okay, so here you may draw this figure. The amplitude is continuously decreasing with the time, and finally the oscillations die out. Such oscillations we call it as damped oscillations. Why are the oscillations getting damped? Because the opposing forces, which we call it as the dissipated forces, they are acting. So that is why the oscillations die out. So such oscillations we call it as damped oscillations. Yes, any example of damped oscillations? The oscillations of a simple pendulum in air. Okay, so example is oscillations of a simple pendulum in air. Okay, next we'll discuss pre, post and resonate oscillations. Pre, post and resonate oscillations. Pre oscillations, the oscillations which are or the body which is vibrating with its natural frequency, with its own frequency. Such oscillations we call it as pre oscillations. But if it is forced to oscillate, then such oscillations we call it as forced oscillations. Okay, and a kind of forced oscillation is a resonant oscillation. So first we will study about pre oscillations. Okay, so any body which is capable of vibrating and it vibrates with its natural frequency, with its own frequency. Such oscillations we call it as pre oscillations. So write down a body capable of vibrating, a body capable of vibrating and oscillates with its natural frequency and oscillates with its natural frequency. Okay, comma, such oscillations are called as pre-oscillations. Such oscillations are called as pre-oscillations. Okay, which is capable of vibrating and oscillates with its natural frequency. Such oscillations we call it as pre-oscillations. Okay, for example, in case of a simple pendulum, what is the frequency of an oscillating pendulum? It is the reciprocal of the time period, and time period we know is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root L by G. We have found out the time period for an oscillating simple pendulum, which is equal to 2 pi under root L by G, and frequency is reciprocal of the time period, so it will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root G by L. So here you see that the frequency is depending upon the length of the pendulum. It's depending upon length of the pendulum. Length of the pendulum constant, so its frequency is constant, that is, it is vibrating with its natural frequency. With this frequency, it is oscillating. So these oscillations are pre-oscillations. The same way, a loaded spring. What is the frequency of the oscillations of a loaded spring? We know that the time period is the reciprocal of the time period, and time period is given by 2 pi under root n by k, inertia factor upon the speed factor. So the frequency will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root k by l. Here it is depending upon the mass by which it is loaded and the spin constant of the material. So it will oscillate with its natural frequency. So any loaded spin, when it is oscillating, when it is made to oscillate, it will oscillate with its natural frequency. So such oscillations we call it as the pre-oscillation. So write down, this is the frequency of oscillations of simple pendulum. Oscillations of simple pendulum, these are the oscillations of loaded spring. And they are vibrating with its natural frequency. So these are pre-oscillations. Another example you can write down. The string of a guitar or sitar, when it is plucked, it will vibrate with its natural frequency. Okay, it is depending upon the length of that string. That's length of the string is fixed, so it will vibrate with its natural frequency. So another example, the oscillations of a plucked string of a guitar or sitar. The oscillations of plucked, when it is plucked, P-L-U-C-K-E-D, plucked string of guitar or sitar. Now the next one is forced oscillations. Okay, now the body is oscillating not with its natural frequency, with a frequency which is given by the external periodic force. Some force is used to oscillate this body, and the body will oscillate, whether it is the pendulum or anything. Okay, it will oscillate not with its natural frequency, but with the frequency which is given by the external periodic force. Then such oscillations we call it as forced oscillation. Okay, now this pendulum or the string or the string of a guitar, they are not vibrating with its natural frequency. They are vibrating by the frequency given by the external periodic force. Then we call it as forced oscillation. So write down. When a body vibrates with a frequency given by the external periodic force, with a frequency given by the external periodic force, comma, not its natural frequency. Okay, which is not its natural frequency, Okay, then these oscillations are called as forced oscillation. Okay, then called as forced oscillations. Okay, for example, when you pluck the string of a guitar or sitar, what happens? The wooden board on which it is fixed, that also starts vibrating. Okay, but it is not vibrating with its own frequency, it is vibrating with the frequency of the string, that is the external periodic force. So such oscillations, we'll call it as the forced oscillations. Have you seen a tuning fork? It's shaped like this. I mean in class 9 also, I had shown you in the lab. Okay, this is the tuning fork. When the use of the prongs, when the prongs are hit against the rubber pad, these prongs will oscillate with its natural frequency. Something is written over here, we have seen 286 Hz, 320, 450, anything written. So it will start, these prongs will start vibrating with its natural frequency. But if the prongs are touched to the table, what happens? The table starts vibrating, but not with its natural frequency given by the tuning fork. Okay, so the vibrations in the table will be forced oscillations because they are not oscillating with its natural frequency. They will be oscillating with the frequency given by the prongs of the tuning fork. So those oscillations are the oscillations produced in the table of forced oscillation. Is it clear? So write its example. Write down the board, the wooden board of guitar or sitar. Okay, any musical instrument, stringed musical instrument. The wooden board of guitar or sitar vibrates with the frequency of the string, vibrates with the frequency of the string, which is not its natural frequency. Vibrates with the frequency of the string, which is not its natural frequency. Okay, then the third type of resonant oscillations. Resonant oscillations are a kind of forced oscillation only, okay, in which the body is vibrating with its natural frequency, but this frequency is given by external periodic force. Who has given? The body is oscillating with its natural frequency, okay, but It is given by the external periodic force. That is, the frequency of the external periodic force matches with the frequency of that vibrating body. So it will start vibrating with a large amplitude. Such oscillations we call it as resonant oscillations. Okay, so write down. When the body oscillates, with its natural frequency, given by external periodic force, so it oscillates with a large amplitude. Called as resonant oscillations. Okay, example you write down in sonometer experiment. Okay, this year we have not done the experiments. Only write the example in the sonometer experiment. The string will vibrate with a large amplitude. Why? Because the frequency of the tuning fork will be matching with the frequency of that string. Okay, so it will be vibrating with a large amplitude. Anyhow, we are doing this example. See page number 354. This figure you can see, page number 354. Okay, this is the example of free, forced and resonant oscillations. A very good example. From this we can understand it better. Okay, see, there are 5 pendulums. Can you see here? 5 pendulums of different lengths. The length of each of this pendulum is different. Okay, only the length of pendulum 1 and 4 are equal. The length of pendulums 1 and 4 are equal. 2 is shorter, 3 is much more shorter, 5 is very, very long. Okay, so these are the length. Now what happens? Let the 4th pendulum is oscillating. 4th pendulum oscillated, so it will vibrate with its natural frequency. Frequency is depending upon the length. Nu is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root g by L. So depending upon the length, so it will vibrate with its natural frequency. So which pendulum is oscillated? 4th one is oscillated. So this is oscillating with its natural frequency. The oscillations produced in the 4th pendulum are free oscillations. Now after some time, all these pendulums they will start oscillating. Why? Because they are tied to the same rigid support, so the energy will be passed and all will start vibrating. So here you see that the pendulum 3, 2 and 5, they will start oscillating with the frequency which is given by the 4th pendulum. So what kind of oscillations will be there? All are having different frequencies because the lengths of all these pendulums 2, 4 and 2, 3 and 5 are different. So they will not oscillate with their natural frequency, but they will oscillate with the frequency of the 4th pendulum. So what kind of oscillations are produced? Forced oscillations. Okay, in one also forced oscillations are produced, but the length of the first pendulum is equal to the length of the 4th pendulum. That is, it will vibrate with its natural frequency, but this frequency is given by the 4th pendulum. So it will oscillate with a large amplitude. And so what kind of oscillations are produced in one? Resonant oscillation. Okay, a very good example given over here. So you can read it from here only. Okay, and whatever is taught in the class, stick to that only. Okay, the equations we are not doing over here. The equations of the undamped oscillations, free, forced and resonant oscillations we are talking. So we have completed this chapter, and the questions which you have to do it are, note it down on page number 357 to 359. to 361. Okay, question number 1. Okay, just simply you have to say that whether it is a periodic motion or not. Okay, then the second question, whether it is an oscillatory motion or a periodic motion. Leave the question number 3. Question number 4, you can do. Fifth one, very good to understand what is a SHM. Sixth also. So question can be done. 11 and 12, only the C and D part. 14, 15, 16. Okay, so these questions, try it. If you have any difficulty, then we'll discuss it. And then one more question, very good question on the last page. Additional exercise, page number 24. This also you can do. Okay. So now we start with the next chapter, waves, which is the last chapter. One chapter in between we have left, kinetic theory of gases. That will do it in the end. Okay, so chapter number 50, waves. Okay, so whenever in a medium the particles vibrate, the particles oscillate, the particles perform simple harmonic motion. So what they do, they pass on the energy to the next set of particles and they keep on passing the energy from one set of particles to the other. So some disturbance is created in the medium. Why? Because the energy is being passed from one particle to the other. Okay, like in here also when I am speaking, you are able to hear my sound. Why? Because the particles of the air are vibrating. They pass their energy to the next set of particles. They pass it to the next set of particles. So in this way, the air molecules which are vibrating near your eardrum, they make your eardrum vibrate, and this way you are able to hear my sound. Okay, so what is happening? Whenever the particles of a medium are oscillating, they pass on their energy from one set to the other. That is, some disturbance is created. That is, some energy is propagating forward. This disturbance which is moving, propagating in the forward direction, this disturbance we call it as wave. Okay, what is it called? It is called as a wave. So why is it produced? Due to the oscillations of the particles of that medium, some wave is created in the medium. Okay, so write down. A disturbance created in the medium. A disturbance created in the medium due to the vibration of the particles, is called as wave, is called as a wave motion, or is called as a wave, in which energy and momentum propagates forward. In which energy and momentum propagates forward, not the particles. In which energy and momentum propagates forward, not the particles. Write down, it is of three types. Already studied in the lower classes. Mechanical waves. Write down, which require a material medium for propagation. Which require a material medium for its propagation. Which require a material medium for its propagation. Yes, medium means it may be solid, liquid or gas. any medium there, then only the wave can propagate. Okay, such waves we call it as mechanical waves. These mechanical waves are of two types: transverse and longitudinal waves. Transverse and longitudinal waves. These are of two types: transverse and longitudinal waves. Okay, in transverse waves, the particles are oscillating perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of wavelet. The wave is propagating towards light along plus x-axis, and the particles are vibrating up and down perpendicular to the propagation of wave. Such waves we call it as the transverse waves. Okay, whereas in case of a longitudinal waves, the particles vibrate in the same direction of the propagation of wave. This particle vibrating, giving its energy to the next, it starts vibrating, it starts vibrating. So the particles are vibrating along the direction of the propagation of wave. Such waves we call it as longitudinal wave. These transverse waves, they travel in the form of crest and trough. I think in lower classes we have studied. Suppose this is a string, a rope, which is tied to a rigid support. You give, this is the normal position. Now, if you give a jerk in the upward direction, what happens? The particles of the rope, they move up and down, that is they are vibrating up and down. Okay, so which type of waves are these? These are transverse waves. Okay, this can be seen also one experiment in class 9, I think. Those who are in this school, they have done Slinky experiment. So which waves were produced? Transverse waves. Okay, now at some positions, the displacement of the particle, the displacement of the rope particle is maximum. These points where it is having maximum displacement, they are called as the crest. So above the normal positions, those positions we call it as the crest, and below the normal position, these positions are called as the troughs. What are these positions for? They are called as the troughs. So these waves, transverse waves, travel in the form of crest and trough. Okay. So write in very short: transverse waves. Transverse waves. Particles vibrate. Particles vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Particles vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Write down, they travel in the form of crests and troughs. They travel in the form of crests and troughs. Travel in the form of crests and troughs. Crests of the positions. Crests of the positions above the normal positions. Above the normal position. Crests of the positions above the normal position. Troughs below the normal position. Troughs below the normal position. Write down, for example, the free end of a rope moved up and down. The free end of a rope moved up and down. Free end of the rope moved up and down. Okay, next write down longitudinal waves. Longitudinal waves. Particles vibrate. Particles vibrate along the same direction of propagation of wave. Particles vibrate along the same direction of propagation of wave. Write down, they travel in the form of compressions and rarefactions. They travel in the form of compressions and rarefactions. Write down, compressions or the regions. Compressions or the regions of high density and high pressure. Of of high density and high pressure. And rarefactions, RAREFACTIONS, and rarefactions are the regions. Rarefactions are the regions of low density and low pressure. Example is sound waves. Example, sound waves. Okay, so what happens? Like the sound wave, when it is traveling in air, the particles of air, they come very, very close to each other. So the density becomes higher. And in the next region, the particles of the air will be far apart from each other. That is, the density becomes lower. So this region is the rarefaction. So it is alternate, these compressions and rarefactions are formed. So compressions of the regions, if we plot, this is the normal density of the air or the normal density of the medium. At some points, the density will be higher. Okay, the density will be more of the medium, and at some other points, the density will be less. So these regions we call it as compressions, and these regions are called as the rarefactions. Okay, this is the density. Density becomes higher, density becomes lower. Compressions and rarefactions are formed. Okay, these are the transverse wave particles oscillating perpendicular. Crest and troughs will be formed. Particles vibrating along the same direction. Longitudinal waves. Density at some regions will be more, density will be less. So compressions and rarefactions will be formed. So these are mechanical waves. Now the second type of waves are non-mechanical waves. Second type, non-mechanical waves, which are also called as electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. Okay, non-mechanical waves. Without a material medium also they can propagate. That is, there is no solid, liquid or gas, any medium, no medium there, still they can propagate. They are called as non-mechanical. The other name is electromagnetic waves. So write down, which do not require any material medium, which do not require any material medium for its propagation, which do not require any material medium for its propagation. Any example? Example is light waves. The sun's light which we are receiving on the Earth's surface, okay, it can travel in vacuum also. When there is no medium, still these waves can travel. Above the atmosphere, there is nothing, no solid, no liquid gas, but still we are receiving the sun's light. It means the light waves are electromagnetic waves. Okay, these electromagnetic waves are also transverse waves. Why? Because here there are no particles vibrating, something else is vibrating. What are those? Electric and the magnetic field vectors will be vibrating perpendicular to each other to create this wave. Okay, so this you will study in detail in next class. Only in case if you reach there. So electromagnetic waves, one full chapter is there in class 12. There we are going to study. Okay, the third type of waves are matter waves. Studying so that, okay, this sentence I should not speak, that if you reach in the class then only you study. Okay, so keep studying. Matter waves. Sometimes matter also travels in the form of waves. Matter means the universe is composed only of two things, matter and radiation. Matter means the thing which is having mass. Radiation means the one which does not have any mass, that we call it as the radiation. Now, if anything which is having a mass is traveling in the form of wave, then we call it as a matter wave. Like electron, protons, though their mass is negligible, Electron has a mass 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg, but still it has got some mass. If it travels in the form of waves, then such waves we call it as the matter waves. So sometimes matter also, matter means like electron, proton, ions, etc. They can also travel in the form of waves. So write down when matter, when matter, when matter like electron, proton travels in the form of waves, travels in the form of waves, they are called as matter waves. Okay, again, one full chapter in the next class. So there we are going to study over it. Okay, next we have to write the equation of the wave, any wave which is propagating forward, which we call it as a plane wave, progressing in the forward direction. So such a wave we call it as the plane progressive wave. We'll write its equation and we'll study about it, some terms related to the waves. So we'll continue tomorrow.